like, hey, this movie made a shitload of money. I'm going to put something that really didn't. So the people who see my list maybe might get something different. But I mean, it's a brilliant idea with this movie. I mean, the opening, with the losing of the child, then the father working on the earpieces, and then Emily Blunt just being awesome. I mean, the nail scene right out of Home Alone 2.
Oh, Chekhov's nail.
Yeah, Chekhov's nail. I mean, it's a very good movie, and I know it's Krasinski's third film, but he really directed the living snot out of this.
Yeah, I think just in terms of just the sound design of the movie, it is the quietest and the loudest movie you'll ever watch because the dynamic range of sound. So your ear gets used to it. Your ear gets used to the silence, and then they'll knock over a lantern, and it's the biggest explosion you could have of a lantern getting knocked over.
Oh, I should have done that for my random awards. Loudest explosion of a glass piece. Loudest lantern explosion. And it's funny. I was driving the other day, and I was driving home, and I was talking. I know I keep bringing it up. I was talking to my wife Megan, and we were talking about things. I was like, you know what, Megan? I was like, I like monster movies. I think that's why I love. Like, I just said that to her, and she's like, cool, Mark. But this movie has a new monster, like a new alien, and it gives us just enough to know what happened. I don't need a prequel. I mean, these things came to Earth, ripped people up. Cool. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and they look really cool. Like the head that's full of ear canals that kind of opens up. It's like, oh, that's awesome.
This movie, though, owes a lot to Reign of Fire. People hiding.
It's been a while.
People hiding. We just podcasted about it. Listen to it. So people hiding after the Earth is wiped out, hoping that things don't come. There are people who want to fight them, and then there's people who just want to live their own life and not be attacked by them, doing the best they can, kind of waiting it out and looking for something. Matthew McConaughey is looking to kill the male dragon, and then they're looking for a way to kind of combat the aliens here, and they develop that noise. So, I mean, this is Reign of Fire 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. It's like M. Night Shyamalan's Reign of Fire.
Yeah.
Because it feels like old school Shyamalan.
That's awesome.
It's like Signs level.
Oh, man. Any other thing you want to touch on this movie, or any other aspects you loved?
I mean, it ends with Emily Blunt cocking a shotgun.
It's so awesome.
Does Mary Poppins do that? No.
I still think she should have been. I know it never happened, but I thought she was perfect in Edge of Tomorrow. She should have been nominated for something. I also still think Eva Green should have been nominated for her work in 300 too, because she owns every second of that movie.
She owns that movie. And
owns it.
It's the only thing you remember of that movie.
Like, she just...
Is Eva Green just killing it.
Killing it. Literally. She's like kissing decapitated heads. That's great. That was pretty gross. Good. I guess I remember it. All right, so the next movie is 12, which I'm surprised it made both of our top 10s, but they were kind of low on the list, so then it got pushed to number 12, which is Strangers Pray at Night, directed by Johannes Roberts, who directed the movie that I love, 47 Meters Down, which is very mean, Zach. 47 Meters Down is a mean little movie. I love the visuals, and at the end when it went so mean, I was like, ah! Ha, ha.
I almost wanted to go rude in the theater.
I mean, it's so mean, wasn't it?
It was. It goes full Twilight Zone at the end.
Oh, dude, I love full Twilight Zone, and the really great visuals of sharks too. During those scenes where she like lights the flare, right, and then the sharks are circle. Oh my gosh! All right, so this one.
How did any actress sign up for that movie? It looks like the most miserable shoot possible.
So you're going to be underwater for 8 weeks.
You're definitely going to get the bends all the time.
You're going to see me sitting in water, hanging out. But I'll be there with you. That's what James Cameron would say. That's what he did say. He's like, I'm down there with everyone. It's not so bad. All right. Strangers Pray at Night.
Everyone's miserable, James.
I think, all right, pound for pound, favorite horror moments. Oh, man. I think this movie features my favorite set piece of the year in any horror film. Because when I watched this movie, I think it was based off, you shared an article about a pool scene. So I was like, okay, this movie, I'll check it out. I was watching it in the background while I was writing something else. But then this movie captured me because I really liked Lewis Pullman. I liked the other actress, Bailey. I thought she did a very good job. And as you're watching it, there's this set piece in a pool, soundtrack by Total Eclipse of the Heart, lit beautifully with, trees with like Christmas lights on them. And it plays just like it's expertly shot. It's expertly set up. I mean, the way they filmed it, and the movie had my attention after that. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a very good scene.
Well, I think that Strangers, the first one, is probably one of my favorite horror movies of the last, well, I guess it's been 10 years. 2008 is when it came out. So over the last 10 years, The Strangers just has this and the new one have this kind of visual restraint and kind of elegance that you don't see in horror movies that much, especially this kind of slasher home invasion film, where it utilizes silence. It utilizes diegetic sounds. Like the Total Eclipse of the Heart scene, which is probably one of my 2 or 3 favorite scenes of the year, let alone horror scenes. It has this diegetic nature to the sound of the song. Like it's playing on a speaker here, and whenever the image cuts, it like kind of shifts the sound a little bit. And there's something about that amplifies the tension of it, and it climaxes beautifully. And the one thing that people have a problem with in the original Strangers that I don't really have a problem with, it is a very kind of nihilistic film. It's a very much it's a downer, and it doesn't really know how to end itself. That's why it just ends with Liv Tyler screaming for some reason.
I tell you what,
this one, like the pool scene is when one of them dies for the first time. One of the strangers dies. Like, whoa,
goes down quickly too.
Quickly, and that running shot is amazing when it's in the wide, and then it zooms in all of a sudden as she starts coming out.
Yeah. He dinks. What does he hit her with? Like a bat or a crowbar or something?
It's something.
Yeah. He just dings her in the head, and then he just stabs her to death.
Yes, which is what you should do if you're being attacked. You don't wait.
And then that axe fight. That guy runs out with the axe, right? Acting stylish, but then when he swings it, it's ugly. And Lewis Pullman, who actually, some of my favorite scenes of this year were in Bad Times at El Royale, probably top 3 in that. So two movies with Lewis Pullman are my top 3 favorite scenes of the year. But when he's swinging that axe, it's ugly. And then they both fall in the pool. And then they're wrestling. Neither one really knows what to do with anything.
And then you get that great shot of him trying to get away and the main stranger like catching up to him.
Right behind him. What a great shot.
Oh.
Yeah,
so good.
I made Megan watch this a couple days ago, just a scene, and I'm yelling. I'm like, look at this shot! Holy crap! Look at the framing! Oh, it made me so happy. And I'm so glad that, like, Collider, AV Club, Bloody Disgusting, they're all covering this scene now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think people
And the rest of the movie's pretty good.
Yeah. Why did people did people just go, oh, another Strangers movie, it's stupid? Like, were minds made up when people watched this movie?
I think so. I don't know. Horror is a very weird thing when it comes to critical response and audience response, because I think the worst audiences you're in a movie theater are usually horror movies, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about a bad audience experience has to do with a horror movie, because there is a mentality that this is something to be looked down on. So if something's weird, I can just like throw something at it. But it's also a response to like, this movie's making me feel uneasy, so I need to laugh that off.
Got it.
So, and I think, it doesn't do anything story-wise creative or new. So it's kind of the same old home invasion slasher movie, just done with a kind of craft that sets it apart.
I don't like sad families in horror movies. So the first Strangers, sad couple. Vacancy, sad couple. Why did this family have to, like, why can't there just be a nice family? Like Hills Have Eyes, right? That's a nice family, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the nicer the family, the more horrible it is when stuff happens to them.
Yeah, so when you have a bunch of mopey teenagers, it's like, come on, make them enjoy each other.
Well, I think also the Strangers movie, both family dynamics. In the first one, it's Liv Tyler has refused a proposal of engagement from Scott Speedman, I think is the actor in the first one.
Yep.
And they're kind of like dealing with the weird air afterwards. And then you have this functional family dynamic that comes and attacks them. And seeing how that moves into an actual family dynamic in the new one, where the strangers are after a mom, a dad, a son, and a daughter, kind of like your standard nuclear family, kind of going through some stuff. I believe the daughter is being forced to go to another school, because
she wears Ramon t-shirts.
Yeah, because she's kind of a punk.
Yeah.
She left the Ranger before it got bad and went into Strangers Pray at Night. But, I found the family in this one pretty likable generally, but that might have to do with the casting because I just love, oh my God, her name is escaping
Christina
me.
Hendricks.
Thank you. Oh my God. Why couldn't I remember her name? Put Christina Hendricks in every movie. Yeah. That's what I say.
No, I the performances were fantastic. All right, so let's jump into the next one, The Endless at 11. Now,
yes,
if there's a movie that, I want to hug The Endless. Like, I want to take my Blu-ray of The Endless and I want to hug it. Because I love this movie and I love the ending. When I put together my top, so I have a list coming out of everything I saw on TV, Legion, Killing Eve. I love those shows. This is going to make that list because I don't want to I guess I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't watched it because it is on Netflix. But I love how this movie concludes. And I just think it's breaking loops. But I just love, I don't know, I thought it was well directed. I like how Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who's Spring, which I really enjoy, they star in it. I think that left money for them to bring in a really good supporting cast, Kelly Hernandez of La La Land, a few other people, solid actors. I like that there's a creature, which they had established in a prior film, but I like the creature in this movie, the presence of what it is. And I just think I love it. This is like not a DIY movie because it has a budget and they filmed movies before, but I just think this is them working on all cylinders. And I loved it. I want to hug this movie.
Shout out to Justin and Aaron, who I've met a couple times. They're very nice people. They're wonderful, very supportive of other filmmakers as well. And I am just so happy whenever they pull another really great indie horror movie out like this, which it has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. It's pretty universally beloved, yet needs more recognition.
When I write articles for Rotten Tomatoes, whenever I talk about horror, because I've done a few of those this year, I always throw in mentions to The Endless. So it's like my little, how many people read it, doesn't matter. I tried to sneak it into my Tom Cruise running post, but they didn't let that happen. But that'd have been kind of funny. Tom Cruise was great in The Endless. Wait, what? But Benson's been real supportive of movies, films, and flicks for a while too. I mean, because we supported the living daylights out of Spring. Really tried to get a lot of eyes on it.
Spring is so wonderful.
And Reddit, I got so many eyes on it. And I'm like, hey guys, look what I did. I was like their one-man marketing team. But I don't know, I just love it. And this movie, I guess, you know what's weird is a lot of people wrote articles about this movie, The Endless Explained, or this movie's so confusing. But when I finished this movie, I felt like I just got it. I got this movie. And it didn't, they're like, oh, we leave hints and this and that. But when I left it, I felt like really fulfilled. I had no questions. I just, regardless of what people can get out of this ending, I loved it.
Yeah, I think it's weirdly this like culmination of all the films they've made up until this point, especially Resolution, which has a nice little, more than a nod, it's actually a plot point.
Yeah.
In the film. And I was really happy to see that, like, oh my God, this is great. acting. I want to talk about the acting because Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead are really fantastic directors.